Joining us now on Skype from LA is our buddy Mark Krebs. Mark, how's it going?
Going well, TJ. How you doing?
Not bad. Not in LA, which you still have. I mean, last time we talked, you're doing some acting stuff. You staying busy out there? You miss us too much? I mean, we're looking forward to you coming back at some point.
Well, I'm staying very busy, but I am missing you guys. I do miss being back in Kentucky for sure.
Maybe something you don't miss is Kentucky basketball. They, of course, went to Arkansas on Saturday, again struggled, as everybody kind of does when they go down to Fayetteville. What do you think of this team at this point? Is it just kind of they are what they are, or do you still think they have maybe a little bit of upside and they can get things together down the stretch?
There's no doubt that they have upside, but they are very frustrating. The moment you think that they're turning the corner and they're going to do something great, or they're going to, turn the season around, the next game is just awful. It's hard to watch. So I've been watching every game, and the thing that I can see is that they are just freshmen. And they haven't – it's kind of like Marcus Teague last year, where you'd have one game where he'd make a really good play and you'd be like, he's going to change, he's going to change. And then it was still early in the season. They didn't change totally. And then by the end, he was controlling the game. And I feel like these guys just haven't – you see sparks and you see little things here and there where you're like, well, there's one game, they're going to change, they're going to turn the corner. And they just haven't. And I think that it comes down to the fact that, do they work hard? Yeah. Or do they hustle? Yeah. But I don't think they play smart. I don't think they always play together. And I don't think they do the things that you have to do to win.
Do you think they're going to get into the NCAA tournament when it's all said and done?
That comes down, obviously, to the next how do they, the next couple practices, I feel like, after that Arkansas loss, because it's now or never. If they win the next two games, if they win in the SEC tournament, then they have a really good shot, obviously, of making the tournament and making something of this season. But then again, every time that they've been backed against the corner, they haven't really come out swinging. So as of right now, I do think they will get in the tournament, but they haven't shown me anything. That's just me going as a fan and that I want to see Kentucky in the tournament. They haven't showed me anything yet that says, yes, we're going to come out firing.
How hard is it? I know when you were playing, you, of course, played on some good teams, and you guys played on a team that went to the NIT. How hard is it to stay, I guess, mentally focused or stay motivated, I guess, when you're struggling, everybody's thinking you're not going to get in the tournament, and there's, kind of some negativity. How hard is that to stay self-motivated and say, you know what, we can still do this?
It's very hard. When your team is not doing what you need it to do, like if you're on a team where things just aren't going right, and then you have the fans and the media speculating, will they make the tournament? It just adds a bunch of, first of all, unnecessary pressure at this point because, is the pressure going to help them win? Is it going to make them win the next two games or in the SEC tournament? Who knows? But it is very hard, and I think it comes down to, especially for freshmen, it comes down to just staying within the team, going out every, working hard, knowing that you have to do that. The things you have to do inside the team wall. I mean, don't worry about the media and don't worry about the speculation because that will kill you in the end.
Is it possible that your Gangnam Style dance just jinxed the team this year?
You know what? I was thinking that the other day. First of all, everyone who talks to me, they're like, oh, I saw you on Google. What was that? Or I saw you on YouTube. What was that dance you were doing? And I was like, you have no idea. I was like, was it funny? They're like, it's the best video I've seen all year.
Good. I'm glad. I've worried every audition you go on, they're going to look you up, and that's what's going to come up. But as this team gets ready, let's say that they're going to put it together, they're going to beat Florida, they're going to beat Georgia, and get playing good basketball in the SEC tournament. Who's the one guy? I mean, right now everybody's inconsistent, but who's one guy you really say UK needs him to really carry the team and kind of make his teammates better over the last few games?
I think we've seen sparks of it all year, but Alex Poitras, for me, Kentucky needs help rebounding. They get out-rebounded most games, sometimes really bad. And I think rebounding, and most coaches will tell you this, rebounding is the key to the game. Especially for a team like Kentucky, if you get the most possessions, it helps you, especially if you make mistakes here and there. If you get more possessions than everybody else, you have a chance to make something of that game. And I feel like Alex Poitras has a big body, he's strong, he's explosive, he can start runs, and I feel like he's a guy that Kentucky needs to move forward. Now, obviously, Archie Goodwin has the ball in his hands a lot. He makes a lot of crazy decisions, a lot. But I think Alex Poitras is the key just because of his size and what Kentucky needs right now. I think Kentucky guards, I don't think they have enough big guys and big bodies to really do damage.
This has been, it seems, we talked to Andy Katz from ESPN a couple weeks ago. He said that in talking with Calipari, this is by far his toughest season at UK because of the struggles and getting guys to fit together, and they think they've turned the corner and then they haven't. Being in the locker room with Cal and knowing him pretty well, what do you think the message is after all they've been through this year? The ups, the downs, the injuries, all kinds of stuff. Now they've got a chance to kind of play their way in. What's it like in that locker room when Calipari comes in? What's he saying to these guys to prepare them to make a run?
I think it's all situational. I think preparing for the games, he's very positive. He wants the guys to come together and start playing as a team even more than they have. And every time they've turned a corner, it really hasn't. It turns out they haven't turned a corner. I think he's at a loss every once in a while because he comes in and he's probably really positive, and the guys go out there and they look like they're miserable playing. They look lazy. They don't look like they know what they're doing, and I think that's confusing him. But I think he's going to remain positive because at this point in the season, if he gets really hard on him and he starts, I think the season's done. I think if he starts putting his fist down and his foot down and saying you got to do this and that and starts being real hard on him, I don't know if it's going to help this late in the season. However, I do think that one or two guys he needs to get through to, and I think the rest will start falling. I think if he gets through to Archie Goodwin and Alex Poitras, I think the other guys will feed off of their energy and them, and I think that's what he needs to do. But as of right now, the locker room has to be confusing. I think for Coach, if you're positive, usually you see good results, or if you're negative and you get on him, usually you see him change. But for some reason, this team, you see him change for one or two games, and then it dies off. So as a coach, I don't know what I would do.
Real quick before we let you go, a little off topic. DeMarcus Cousins, I know, is a buddy of yours, a former teammate, been up and down throughout his career. Now has Patrick Patterson on his team. How much of a good thing is that for DeMarcus, and how much of an influence can Patrick Patterson have on him to try to steer him back in the right direction on his career?
I think he can help. I think just being part of his past, being at Kentucky, I always talk to DeMarcus, and he misses Kentucky. He loved Kentucky. He loved the family atmosphere of college basketball, and I feel like just having Patrick there will maybe remind him of college, and he could ask Patrick different, advice here and there. I think they've been in the league, obviously, the same amount of time, but Patrick's a good guy. You can go to him for anything. You can talk to him about anything, and I think for DeMarcus, that is something that's important. And also, it reminds me of Kentucky, and I think that just having a history with a player, because in the NBA, it gets lonely. You got guys with families. It's a bunch of adults, some men, and you show up at games together and maybe practice every once in a while, but it's a very individual feeling sometimes, and I think just having Patrick there will help him.
All right, Mark Krebs, thank you, man. It was good talking with you. Best of luck out in
Miss
L.A.
you guys.
I miss you too. See you, man.
All right, see you later.